I've used Linux for 286 days now. I've tried a bunch of different distros, broken stuff, learned a lot, and I can say that my experience with Linux has genuinely changed the way I think about computers and software. So today I'll talk about the last 9 months or so, why I switched to my favorite distros, the challenges and negatives, and finally what I wish I knew when I first installed Linux. It all started when I bought a 2011 iMac and installed a newer version of macOS on it. It ran okay, but the comments on that video told me to put Linux on it, and so I did. I installed Linux Mint, and to my surprise, it was actually quite easy and it ran a lot better than macOS. 30 days later, I made this video where I gave some reasons for switching. The first was going against planned obsolescence, the practice where companies make computers and tech obsolete arbitrarily by ending software support for them, even though they are still perfectly fine systems. This is something I still care a lot about. The bonus here for Linux users is that you can get good computers that perform well practically for free, doing the stuff that most people use a computer for anyway. For example, my decade-old ThinkPad that I use for everything except video editing, so all of my academic work, as well as writing and researching for YouTube videos. The second reason was the practices of Apple and Microsoft. Things like telemetry data collection, or that you need an account to use your computer, or all the bloat, targeted ads, and unwanted AI. You can avoid most if not all of this simply by switching to Linux. The third reason was Linux is fun, and honestly that's a big reason why I keep using Linux. I enjoy trying out different distros and customizing my setups. It's also just a lot of fun putting Linux on 15-year-old computers and seeing how far you can get. Yeah. Linux for me makes computers fun. So, what's my favorite distro? Now, if you're new to all of this, a Linux distribution is basically a different iteration of Linux. The common metaphor is that the Linux kernel is the engine of a car, and how that car looks is then the distribution. Most distributions are built on either Arch, Debian, or Fedora. Now, I think we can further categorize these distros into 3 types. Those that just work, so easy to install and use. Then the distros for people who like a lot of customization and who are genuinely interested in learning Linux more deeply, I guess. And lastly, gamers. As mentioned, I started out with Linux Mint, which is probably the easiest one or most beginner-friendly distro there is. It essentially guides you through the entire setup, letting you know when to update the system, getting the drivers set up, and so on. Everything happens in a graphical user interface, even installing apps. There's no need to touch the terminal, and it's also quite easy to customize the look and feel of it. Another beginner-friendly distro is Zorin OS. It's the distro I installed on my girlfriend's Mac, and she had a relatively easy time. After a few months on Mint, I moved to Fedora, and I really liked it. I think it's one of the best distros I've tried, period. It's quite intuitive, and I went with the KDE Desktop, which gives you a lot of customization options, all from just the GUI settings menu. After Fedora, I tried a lot of different distros that I won't bore you with, but I eventually settled on Arch and CachyOS, which are the distros that I'm using now. I have Arch with KDE installed on my ThinkPad, and it's great. On my main desktop I use CachyOS, which is built on Arch. It's considered a gaming distro. Do I game? No, not really. The reason I like CachyOS is because it gives you a really nice space with my favorite tiling window manager, Neri, together with the Noctalia shell. Neri is different to something like Hyperland, as it's a scrolling tiling window manager. Basically, instead of tiling windows like this, it opens windows in one long horizontal layout. On top of that, you have vertical workspaces. I genuinely love this workflow, and the overview feature is so good. I did recently install Arch with Neri and Dank Materials shell, and I think that DMS is probably the best shell for Neri if you don't want to mess around with config files. But the config file setup that CachyOS gives you out of the box is really good and intuitive. So yeah, CashOS is my favorite distro right now, although it's really only because of the great Neri and Noctalia setup it comes with. I am currently trying out 2 other distros. First is going back to Fedora, but with Neri and Noctalia instead of KDE. The second is NixOS, and that takes us to challenges. NixOS. NixOS is fundamentally different to other distros as it's declarative. That means instead of installing packages and apps like this, one at a time, you write out everything in a configuration file. This makes the system reproducible, meaning that I can take that configuration file and use it to set up another computer. I think that's really cool. So what's the problem, foci? Well, I haven't managed to get Neri and Noctalia working yet. Everything else is fine, but yeah, no dice on Neri. The documentation makes it look quite easy, but I just can't get it to work. I could follow a guide blindly, but I want to learn NixOS, and that'll take some time, which is fine, but it's still a challenge. Editing. The reason I'm not switching fully to Linux is because I simply don't like Kdenlive, which is an open source editing software that's native to Linux. I've tried multiple times to switch, but I just can't get used to the workflow, and yeah, sorry to say, it's also kinda ugly, and that actually matters to me. I want my workflow to feel good. This is why I still use macOS and why I bought a new MacBook. I have received some criticism for this purchase because I'm generally anti-big tech. My response to this criticism is, okay, whatever. I know Nuance isn't popular here on YouTube, but I don't think I'm a hypocrite for buying a new computer that is the right tool for the job, while still being against big tech policies and planned obsolescence. Really, what I'm against is the mindset that big companies foster. A mindset that says you need yearly upgrades and that hardware is obsolete simply because it's not new. I'm not against consumers, I'm against big companies. The rabbit hole. Linux has been a rabbit hole for me, but in a good way. For one, I have this YouTube channel now, and we just hit 50k subs. Wow. Anyway, Linux really paved the way for me to branch into 2 other rabbit holes, I guess. First is open source software. I pretty much use open source software exclusively, of course except on my Mac, where I have macOS and Final Cut installed. But my open source challenge has been so much fun, and I'm still amazed at how much great open source and free software is out there. And it's not worse than closed source alternatives. In many cases it's even better. For example, my student and teacher workflow is 100% open source. The second rabbit hole is home labbing and self-hosting. Self-hosting basically means running services yourself on your own hardware. So instead of using OneDrive, for example, you host your own cloud with TrueNAS and Nextcloud. Also things like Pi-hole, which will block ads on your entire network, so you don't need browser extensions and so on every device. I'd say that self-hosting requires more effort than simply switching to Linux, but it's also a lot of fun. And again, I think it's quite amazing what you can achieve even if you just use an old computer you have lying around. What I wish I knew before I installed Linux. My number 1 tip here if you want to get into Linux is just do it, man. Before I installed Linux for the first time, I spent hours watching guides, distro reviews, videos on the best beginner distro, and so on. And honestly, I should have just jumped into it. There is a caveat though. You probably shouldn't go all in on your first attempt. Don't wipe your Windows or Mac OS system right away. Instead, use an old or second computer if you have one. Linux is great because if your computer is from the last decade or so, you can run distros like Mint, Ubuntu or Fedora just fine. Using a second computer basically just takes away the stress of having to get everything right the first time. You can mess up, reinstall, try a different distros, whatever. If you don't have a second computer, install Linux on a second drive or use a virtual machine. Basically a separate virtual computer that can't brick your actual system. My second advice is learning by doing. Guides are useful, but honestly the best way to learn is to stumble into a problem and then try to solve it. So, where do you find help? Now, there's this unfortunate expression going around, RTFM, read the fucking manual. In the Linux world, that means the documentation, which is usually long and quite thorough. I do think it's worth getting comfortable looking things up there eventually, because docs are an amazing resource, but I'll just say it. There's nothing wrong with Googling something, watching a YouTube video, checking Reddit, or asking in a Discord. You're certainly welcome to ask questions in our Discord. As a teacher myself, I think you should use whatever resources you're comfortable with, and if that's a YouTube tutorial, watch that tutorial. Screw the people who just shout RTFM at beginners. Seriously. My final piece of advice. There's no best beginner distro. It is true that something like Linux Mint is easy and intuitive, but honestly the most important thing is finding a distro you think is cool. If you like the look of CashOS, try it, even if it's not normally considered a beginner-friendly distro. The most important thing is that you like the look and feel and that you're having fun. Does that mean you need to spend hours reading the documentation? No. Watch a good guide. Try it out. Hell, if you really want to jump straight into Arch as your first distro, fuck it. Try it, even though it will require more effort. You can always switch to something easier later. And here's another take that might go against popular consensus. If you don't like the distro you're using, switch. Try another one. It's generally a good idea to stick with one distro for a while so you actually learn it. And hopping around often means relearning stuff, but if you're not satisfied, if you don't like it, go find something else. There's also this popular belief that using Linux means you have to learn the terminal, and for a lot of distros, that's just not true. Install Mint, Fedora, Ubuntu, or Zorin, and you can do everything through the GUI. Normal menus, just like on Windows or Mac OS. That said, I've really enjoyed learning the terminal, and I think it's true that once you learn it, there's really no going back, because it's often faster than clicking through menus. For example, updating my system on CashOS is simply the command sudo pacman-syu. Installing an app is sudo pacman-s and then, for example, Firefox. Now, a lot of these commands carry over across distros too. On Linux Mint, which is based on Ubuntu, which is based on Debian, I'd install something with sudo apt install Firefox. Sudo means superuserdo, so giving you permission to run the command. Apt is the package manager. Install means, well, install. Obviously, there's more to the terminal than those two commands, but learning even just those gets you comfortable enough to try more. So in summary, you don't have to learn the terminal, but if you do, you'll likely speed up your workflow and your knowledge of Linux, if that's something you care about. Alright, those were my thoughts after 9 months on Linux. If you're a beginner and want to get into Linux, I hope to have given you a bit of positive motivation. And hey, if you're a Linux wizard and know everything about NixOS, write a comment and tell me how I should approach installing Neri. Oh yeah, and the channel just reached 50k subscribers. That's crazy, and I'm really thankful for all of you watching, engaging, commenting, and hanging out in our Discord. Thank you so much. I'll do my best to keep making hopefully fun and engaging content. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and a special thanks to Jan, Lester, Afraris, Cal, and Justin, as well as the other members of the channel. You too can become a member of the channel, if it's financially responsible of you. Right now there are 2 tiers with different perks, but in addition to these, all members are invited to join a VIP channel in the Discord.